Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of my Compaq Portable, and today, if all goes well, we're going to replace the keypads in the keyboard. But I wanted to show you something first, because I plan on replacing this with a similar card once I find it. So this here is the chronograph RAM port. It gives me 384 on top of the 256 here, so that gives me 640 altogether. The problem with this one is when you put it in, it's just a little bit short, and it kind of droops like this. So I'm going to replace it with my AST 6-pack Plus, and we're going to hope that it's long enough to fit into the chassis slot there. So we're going to hope for that. But in the meantime, let's pan down a little bit here. So yeah, 2 of them. So this is the one for my Compaq Portable Plus. Nicely yellowed, well enjoyed, dusty. Not horribly dirty, but dusty enough. And it's dated October 1984. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. October 1984. And then we got this one here. That's the one from our beast in front of us. The Compaq Portable. Almost equally as yellowed. A little cleaner. The board looks nicer. And where's the date on this thing here? Oh, there we go. So this one is September 85, so 40 years to the date of this video almost. So off camera, I'm going to take the screws out. And then hopefully if all goes well, I can just start tapping into the foam pads and do both at the same time here. So we'll be right back. So we have all the screws out. At least I hope I have all the screws out. Yeah. Now, I was hoping I could do this without taking all the keycaps off, because I've seen other videos where they take all the keycaps off, and I was trying to be a little lazy here. Oh, found it. There's one screw over here. Okay, screwdriver. I'll leave the camera rolling for this one. Should move it over a bit there. So there is one over here. And I'm always worried about losing screws, so that's why I like using my hands, but there we go. Put it over there for safekeeping. Aha! Okay. So, if you've watched other videos, you can see that these are the pads. And oh yeah, they're disintegrating like there's no tomorrow there. I don't know if you saw that or not. Let me zoom in a little more here. There you go. So we'll just take, where's my finger here? I'll take this one. So as you press down, it's supposed to hit the contacts, but there's absolutely nothing here. Each one is just disintegrating. Look at that. Clean, but disintegrating. So I'll put that over here. I only took the one keyboard apart for now, because I figured I might as well do one at a time. And then we got this happy critter. Yeah, I'll zoom out a little bit there, sorry. There we go. Those are quite the keypads. Look at that. So I'll give this a quick clean down with some contact cleaner. It looks like someone's been in here before. Interesting. Anyways, I will take the pads out and I'll be back in a few minutes. Actually, I wanted to show you something. So I took one out already here. I already tried. And it, sorry, I'm not in zoom there. It disintegrated, like literally fell apart. So I just wanted to show you on a closer one here. Yeah, it's in the camera zone. Oops. Look at that. 40-year-old foam falling apart. So this may take me a little bit longer than I thought. I was hoping I could pop them out in one piece, but obviously, oops, sorry. Look at that. another window just to show you here. The foam is literally disintegrating into nothing. So, I'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll take it from there. Oh, focus, there we go. So I managed to get all the foam pads out. They literally disintegrated, and there's a little bit of a mess. So when you're doing this, have a small vacuum handy, and it's just a lot easier with the little vacuum. Because there's two pieces of plastic, you know, the top and the bottom of the foam in the middle, and everything just disintegrates. Okay, not everything. The foam in the middle of the two plastics disintegrated into oblivion. And then you have all these little plastic discs flying around, and it's trying to take them out. But we're done one. Oh, not done, but we've removed it. So now, we're going to take the Tech Select here. And let's take a look at one of these here. Oh yeah, these are much nicer. Nice and pliable, still soft. Sorry, let's try to get that. There we go. So we'll try one of these, and we'll put them all in and see what happens. Back again. Task completed. A little bit of a pain. There are 4 clips on each one of these little guys. So you got to make sure the plastic bit of the foam pad is clicked in. If you use tweezers, it works. It's just you got to make sure they're all in there. And so now we have one done. Let's give it a try and let's see what happens. And here we are. So the keyboard is back together. I'm leaving obviously the shell open so I can work on the other keyboard. But it is plugged in. We're ready to go. Let's fire this puppy up. Now I am using a Picomem that operates at, well, just right now as a hard drive. I don't have all the memory systems set up yet. So I just want to check the actual RAM, the base RAM on the Compaq. So let's see what happens here. Oh, right, this is on a 386 before, so I'm going to hit F5 to bypass. I'm using 622. Hey, it bypassed. Cool. So the keyboard is responding. Hey, look at that. Okay, well, let's see. I should have 256 in here. Yep, look at that. Oh, that's cool. So it's working. The keyboard, I haven't tested obviously all the keys yet. Stuck in cursor mode. Let's put numlock on. Hey, look at that. So once again, gotta give credit where credit's due here. So Tech Select. Out of focus. There we go. Tech Select. Totally awesome. These things fit perfectly. Again, they're a little bit of a pain. I'm gonna see there's like a plastic disc there. You got to clip into the 4 little points of each keycap. But it works. That's cool. Okay, so now, very quickly, let's see if I can edit my config sys. And I don't know if this will work with that lower RAM. Oops, I keep so used to hitting enter there. Let's see here. Out of memory. Okay, well, we can fix that. Control S. I think I missed it. I did miss it. Oh. Oh yeah, the one thing I should mention with the Compaq Plus, sorry, the Compaq Portable and the Compaq Portable Plus, with the power supply, if you turn it off and on, you have to let it rest for 15 seconds. It's a safety feature built into it. So if you flick it back off and on within the 15 seconds, the fan will come on, but the rest of the circuitry will not allow the system to boot up. So it's been more than 15 seconds. Let's turn this thing on. And I'm going to remember to hit Control S to get into my setup here once the Picomem comes up. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this one, I do plan on adding a different RAM card. But for now, we can add the RAM off the Pico, the Pico card, and I missed it again there. Why did that not work? Oh, it's S. Nah. Okay. I thought it was Control S for some reason. It's just S. So that's my own stupidity. Here we go. Okay. So we got it off there. That's fine. And let's turn the memory on, and I don't remember how to do that. Change value with enter. So this is the memory address. We'll try the first one for now. Let's maximize that. And then we'll turn on the RAMs up here. Okay, let's see what else we got here. The disks. So I'm leaving my disks as it is. I got the, as you can see there, 500 meg hard drive partition for DOS 622, which is more than enough for this little XT guy. Audio is on, but I don't have all the drivers, I think. And I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, and this one I think is just save as it goes, so if I hit escape, and then F5, and not sure why it's doing that. Okay, one more time here. Turn it off, we'll give it a nice clean boot. Again, gotta wait 15 seconds. Yeah, let's try that. It might be a little bit early, but... No, cursor's on. Okay. So what's happening is the card was in my little 386 portable. There we go. So I took it out to use on this one, and I think I actually might leave it in here. So I wasn't using the memory on the other one, it was just acting as a hard drive and a sound card. But here obviously I can get the extended memory out of it to get this thing way past the 640 mark. Let's go mem just to see how much memory I have running here. Yeah, so I am reporting the full 640 with the memory card in there. So, which means now I can go edit my config sys. I could have, when booting, I could have hit F8 and just hit yes and, you know, different prompts and whatnot, but we can just edit it out here. Okay, what have I got here? That one, hi mem. Take that out because it's an XT. I'll leave the buffers that high for now, and then obviously we don't need EMM 386 because, well, this is not a 386. I'll fix that later. I don't know why I have it twice. Anyways, we can fix that after. And reboot. Okay, so I got to take some other things out, but that's okay. But look at that. So I got 640K running, 577 right now. That's good. Now, this is, as I said, DOS 6, so let's take a look at Microsoft Diagnostic. This is fun. It's actually working. So I might have to go back in and tweak the screen a little bit. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap going on here and on the top. Insert disk with FFF and drive FFF. Whoops. Something's gone horribly wrong here. Okay, but again, the key thing at the moment is the keyboard is working, so that's the good thing. We'll save tweaking with the Picomem in another episode. But hey, this is good news. The system is working. I'm gonna... Oh, it won't even let me Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, well that's a sign. So... we'll turn that off. I'm going to sign off for now, work on the other keyboard, and I'll see you in a bit. So just a quick update of things that I've changed a bit here. So the keyboard's still open. I was going to turn around and finish putting the pads into the Compaq Portable Plus model, which I have cleaned up. I haven't done it yet, for the sole reason why I'm going to start experimenting with some retrobrighting. And I was worried if I leave it in the sun or use a UV lamp, it may deteriorate the foam pads. So I'm going to leave them off for now. So obviously I'm not going to work on this one at the moment. So the keyboard, I'll more than likely put back together because I can't see myself working on the retrobrighting for at least another week. The other thing to mention though, so I was mentioning I'm going to switch the RAM card out. So this is the original. well, not original Compaq, but I mean it was original. It came with the Compaq. So it's the chronograph RAM port. It's got the 384 on it, along with a parallel port, or sorry, that's a serial port. Yeah, so this is serial. Parallel's up here. It's got the clock on it. The problem, as I mentioned with this one, when it's in the system, it kind of flexes down because it's just a little bit short on this side for the internal brackets, the support brackets. So I have my AST 6-pack Plus. There you go. Very similar. It's got the COM port here. Oops, sorry, seemed to be out of focus. Maybe it's my eyes. There we go. So it's got the COM port here. This one's actually the game port. This one's the parallel port. I'll have to put the headers on, but it's got the real-time clock. Same thing, 384. I've already configured it, tested it. It's working fine. And just to show you here, just bear with me a sec. It's kind of hard to see, but if I line them up, right, you can see here, this one is the chronograph, and the other one's the AST. So it's just a little bit smaller, which is why I kept flopping down out of the support brackets. And again, had it been just a regular desktop, I wouldn't care. But once you put the computer, well, once the computer is in portable mode, for lack of better words, the card's still like this, and it will bend. So that's why I switched to this one, just so it fits in the bracket. So apart from that, I have modified, adjusted, keyword, adjusted, not modified, adjusted the screen here because it was a little bit off. So I've done that. I put back some of the parts, and I will show you some things working momentarily. Stand by. Okay, before I put this back together, I just want to show you what actually is inside here. So the long card, as mentioned, is the AST 6-pack Plus. Again, that gives me my 384 memory along with the 256 on board. So that gives me the 640. There is the RTC on it, and I have a parallel. I'm not sure what these little missing chips are. I've seen a lot of pictures with them without it. And I got a bent pin. Anyways, this is the joystick connector. I don't plan on using it because right beside it is the Picomem. And for those who are not familiar with Picomem, let me get a little closer here. It's a Raspberry Pi powered ultimate little card. It emulates hard drive, floppy drive, sound cards, network card. There is a USB connection, so you can actually connect a joystick to it. There is, hopefully down the road with future updates, USB memory stick accessibility. Now I have tried the memory stick on it. It recognizes the proper memory stick. It just has no idea what to do with it. Maybe it's me. Could be, again, a down the road thing. I haven't really, got into it that hard. The cool thing for me, though, actually is the floppy emulation. So this thing will add or overwrite the BIOS routines. And it will allow this computer, as we're talking XT class here with, the original 360 floppy drives, it will emulate and accept all the drives, well, all the standard drives. For example, I have a 500 megabyte hard drive image on this one, and I installed, with this card, emulated, DOS 6.22 using 1.44 meg floppies. Emulated again. But the machine saw it, recognized it, accepted it, booted nicely. Well, almost nicely. There's a small glitch somewhere with 6.22, but I'll get into that after. But it recognized the disk. And actually, maybe I should clarify that. So when I was installing the 6.22, it crashes on if you leave the disk to boot automatically. What I had to do was press F5, bypass the startup, do my F-disk and everything all by myself. And then if you run setup, it'll work fine. So I'm not too sure where the glitch is on there, but it doesn't boot up 100% from the floppy disk. Now that's only with the DOS 6.22. I tried using the DOS 5, and that worked fine. I haven't tried the 1.44 FreeDOS, but I used the 720K FreeDOS boot image just to see what would happen, and that booted quite nice. So there's lots of potential with this little guy here. So this here is the audio output little adapter. This row of connectors there is the same connector as over here. They duplicated it, again, for future upgrades. So who knows what else is coming down the pipe, but when it comes, it'll be ready for it. I might have a whole episode on this little guy one day. Because again, I'm just totally impressed with it. The things you can do with it. Now, getting back to the original Compaq cards. So the big one over here. Sorry for the lighting, I'm now in the way of the light. So that one is the video card. And that gives you CGA and MDA, which is strictly text only. Now, the interesting thing using keystrokes, you can switch from high-res to low-res CGA. When you go to low-res, hopefully you can see it. Oh, I'll get it out here. Where is it? Here it is. Sorry, zoomed in. Okay, so when you switch to low-res, you can actually connect a regular video out. Now, I've tried it. It is monochrome. And, yeah, the quality is really, really bad. I tried it on some different adapters and direct to, they're LCD screens. But I did direct to LCD, then I went to video over to HDMI. That didn't look any better. I tried it on a capture card. That didn't look any better. But it is available, just in case you want to use it. And then down there is the CGA, straight 9-pin output. Somewhere around here, again, in one of my boxes, I have one of those CGA, EGA to VGA adapters. I never had any luck getting it to work, though. Of course, that was mostly with the Commodore 128 and 80 column mode. Maybe it'll work almost out of the box with the CGA. Again, that'll be another episode when I try it. But, again, this is what it is at the moment. Last but not least, this little guy here is the floppy disk. Oop. There we go. So there's your floppy disk controller. And it also has the parallel port. So this one's set up as parallel port 1. LPT2 would be on... No, not here, but I mean, we can pretend it should be here. Because that is the COM port. So I do have a second parallel port available, just haven't installed the header yet. Which will probably go right here. And then obviously I kept the 2 original floppies. And this is all your adjustments for the CRT. And that's it. So let's put this little guy back together. And I'll be back in a minute. One final thing I just wanted to show. So you can see this is where the EST card is sitting into the card socket holder here. And what I wanted to mention, at some point down the road when I get to the recording and refurbishment of the Compaq Portable Plus, because that one was, let's say, really enjoyed compared to this one, these are either broken or I'm missing, I think, one of them. And then we have this guy up here. Right? This is the top of the card thing, or top shield, I should say. These hold the cards in, so I'm missing some of those. So it's been an absolute pleasure working on this one. I mean, it's clean, all the parts are here, and it's, for lack of a better word, it's almost virginal. It was fun. Anyways, let's get the rest of the shell back together, and I'll be right back. And here we are. Everything is back together. I borrowed one of the levers from the Compaq Portable Plus. I figured, well, seeing how I'm using the power supply from that in this one here, I didn't think it would mind if I borrowed the lever as well. So now I got 2 matching levers. So that's a nice looking set there. The case has been scrubbed down. It's been put together, cleaned, looks quite nice. I'll show a couple of pictures of that momentarily. The handle on top is actually in really good condition. There's no cracks or anything on it. So I gave it a little application of what's called Armor All. So it's really nice and smooth now, and it's a little more protected. So that'll be something collectible, if you want to call it that. That it's not trashed or disintegrating. It's actually in good condition. Other than that, I've had no other problems with this thing. I did some upgrades. One of them, as I mentioned before, is the Picomem. So let's turn this thing on, and I'll show you a few things that we've done here, and then we'll call this episode complete. The one thing I did have some issues with was getting the screen properly set. Because of the different screen modes, if you tweak one, sometimes you throw it off on the other one. And so there's a little bit of a gap up here. And if I tried to fix that, then I lost part of the bottom, and I just kind of gave up. It was one of those, okay, this is good enough for now, and I'll fix it after. So We'll just wait for this to load. So, as I mentioned before, this critter has 256 on board. I have the 384 AST 6-pack plus card, so that brings me up to 640. Then I have the Picomem, which gives me a lot of other memory options. So I have that overriding part of the video memory. So altogether now I have, 738 kilobytes just in the standard DOS area. I am having a problem with the real-time clock. Not too worried about that at the moment. There is a small conflict, I think, between the AST and the Picomem, but I'm working on it. But this is what I wanted to show you, though. So yeah, keyboard's working. That was the prime thing. But look at this. So I got 736 going on here, 4 megs of EMS, and then 666 free. So that's kind of impressive. Let you take a look at that for a second. Now, because we're pretty much done here, let me backtrack a little here. So some of the things I have installed. So there is the V20 in there. I had a 387, which I've installed for now. I might take that out and put it into a Tandy. Haven't decided, but at the moment there's a 387 in there. And then as I mentioned, I got the 6-pack plus, the Picomem, which is just one of those multi-cards, which is totally awesome. And this is going to be one of my the retro workstations, battle stations. Sorry, having one of those days today. It'll be one of those battle stations. Now this is what I want to show you here. One of the games I like using for demonstrations is the Arkanoid 2 Revenge of Doe. So if you go in here and, oops, still not used to this keyboard setup and typing obviously out of the way of the camera. So if you delete the configuration file and then run Doe here, so I'll ask you everything here. So I am using CGA, sadly, one player. I'm going to use the keyboard. I know I don't want to redefine it. And I do have the ad-lib function running. I'm going to play game. And if my little speaker is loud enough, you'll hear it fire up in a moment. But look at that. I have to admit, high-res CGA graphics and monochrome is actually pretty nice looking compared to that, pink-purple kind of blue colors of CGA. So at least this is a little more better. There we go. Yeah, let me move this a closer here. And that's all from the Picomem. Now there is a Sound Blaster setting. I haven't quite tried that one yet. Maybe I'll do that in a different episode. But the ad-lib is just easier. Sound Blaster, you got to set some different settings and stuff. Ad-lib, you just turn it on. Then you tell the game that you have ad-lib, and if it finds it, it'll work nicely for you. And that's it. Well, that's the end of episode 2. I will put some pictures of the case and everything once I'm done here. And thank you for watching my show. I hope you liked it. If you do, please subscribe, and there'll be more videos coming up soon. Take care.